Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. Happy New Year to you and all. And I'll tell you what, I cannot remember ever starting a January transfer window show where Arsenal are in such a great position to do something really strong this year, to go on and win the league. Yeah, let's say it. That's what it is. We have a chance of winning the league, and this transfer window is going to be so important for Arsenal. Of course, what a brilliant win yesterday. I know it was a little bit jittery at the end. You know, we got a bit wobbly with some of the mistakes that we made at the end, but Arsenal to go away and beat Brighton by 4-2, you know, to put 4 goals past Brighton away from home. That was really, really impressive. Another one of those games that when we approached it, we're like, oh, Brighton away, hoodoo team. Another one of the big tests. Yet another test pass. Arsenal are absolutely flying at the moment. Absolutely on fire. And it was, for me personally anyway, it was the perfect New Year's present. And Arsenal 7 points clear at the top of the league going into 2023 is absolutely amazing and a chance to go on and win the league. But what are we going to do in January? First of all, before I touch on some of the players that we've been linked to today, got to give it up for Martin Odegaard yesterday. What a brilliant performance. I thought his goal was great. The way he sort of kicked it into the ground, the technique and everything to get that out, that was fantastic. But the pass for the Martinelli goal, I mean, that was absolutely sublime. £35 million we paid for this guy. There has been talk this week that there's some sort of buyback clause in his contract and that, Arsenal are in danger of losing him back to Real Madrid. That's absolutely rubbish. There is no buyback clause in his contract. Martin Odegaard is 100% an Arsenal player. He loves it at Arsenal. You can see he's the captain of the club. And we have got ourselves an unbelievable player. Now, when I see signings like that, that's what makes me start to really trust, what's going on. Again, something that over the years we've not really done. We've not really trusted, our, team that goes out there and makes those transfers to go and make good deals. But you've got to say, some of the signings that they've made in recent times have been absolutely brilliant. And I think that's one thing they've done now. They've earned the trust of the fans when it comes to transfers. Now, what are they going to do this January? As I said, we've got a great chance of winning the league. But when you look at Manchester City's squad and you look at our squad, you can see that there's deficiencies there. That's why a lot of people still look on it and say for them, Manchester City are the favourites to win the league, despite the fact that we're 7 points clear of them. It's the squad. Is Arsenal's squad going to be good enough to cope with the pressures that, because we've got Europa League coming back. We've got the FA Cup. Title chase. Every Thursday night we'll be playing the Europa League game. Then Thursday, Sunday. We know what that takes out of players. So we're going to have to go into the market and we're going to have to do something. Mykhaylo Mudryk has made it clear that Arsenal are going to have to go into the market. Now, the number one target this January seems to be Mykhaylo Mudryk. And when I look at my stats here, he fits the profile perfectly. 21 years of age, Ukrainian, can play on the left side, is a left side forward. He can go down the middle. He can even play on the right, but predominantly on the left. He's electric. He's with his pace. I mean, De Zerbi, the manager of Brighton, who also used to manage him at Shakhtar Donetsk, said that, he sees him as a potential Ballon d'Or winner in the future. Now, that's high praise indeed. But Arsenal are definitely interested in him. We were interested in him last summer, but it didn't happen. But this January, he seems to be priority number one. The rumours is that Arsenal have already put in a bid for him, which was round about the sort of £45 million mark. However, Shakhtar want up to 85 million. They're basing a lot of their valuation off of the fact that Anthony went to Manchester United for around about that fee. Now, listen, Arsenal don't want to pay that sort of money. Obviously, that is a lot of money to pay, but he is a very young player. The thing that we've got going in our favour is that this guy wants to come to Arsenal. You could actually say it's almost like he's desperate to come to Arsenal. I don't know if you saw, I'm going to get up on my phone again. This is what he put on his Instagram yesterday. Two-top coach is what he wrote on his Instagram there, with a picture of Mikel Arteta and De Zerbi. Of course, as I said, he used to be under De Zerbi when he was at Shakhtar Donetsk, and he's loving Arteta. He was watching the game. He's been watching our games and posting it on his Instagram for the past month or so. He's issuing a come and get me plea, but can Arsenal get the negotiations done with Shakhtar to get him over the line? It would be a great signing. So let's see what happens with that. Chelsea apparently also interested in him as well, and there's been talk that they might try and gazump the deal. And we've already seen, look what Liverpool done to Man United with that Cody Gakpo, and everybody thought Cody Gakpo was going to United. So Arsenal got to move fast on this. Plus, we want to get the players in early. We've got some big games in January. I mean, obviously it's going to come too late for Newcastle. We've got Tottenham on the 15th of January. We've got Man United as well in January as well. The earlier we get him in, the better. So let's hope that Edu can work a masterclass and get this guy in as soon as possible. The priority number one. Another player that we've been linked to is João Félix, or should I say João Félix. I got told off for this yesterday by a Portuguese fan. He said, Robbie, it's João, not João. João Félix. 23 years of age he is now. Of course, plays for Atletico Madrid. Now, it hasn't really worked out for him at Atletico at all under Diego Simeone. Simeone just doesn't fancy him. They paid an unbelievable it's rumoured 110, 115 million pounds for him. An unbelievable fee they paid for him. He's been described as the next Ronaldo, but he just has not lived up to that. In the World Cup, for Portugal, I thought he played really well. I'm watching him in the flesh. He is a very, very good player. But he hasn't really hit the heights at Atletico. And I look at his stats, 13 appearances, 4 goals, 3 assists this season. But as I said, it hasn't really happened to him. Now, there's a lot of rumours going around that Atletico Madrid will be willing to loan him from now till the end of the season if they can get a deal like that done, even without an obligation to buy. There's talk that they'd want an obligation, but even without an obligation to buy, because as I said, he's not always playing and he's on a massive amount of wages. Now, they want a loan fee of up to around 8 to 9 million pounds. That is the rumour. That is a lot of money for a loan fee. A lot of clubs are sort of balking at that, but he could be a player that Arsenal could bring in. Now, imagine a João Félix at the Emirates. He would cause a lot of excitement and could, with his quality, add to the goals. He can play anywhere again across that front three. Again, another guy predominantly on the left-hand side, but is really sort of that sort of second striker. Would be an excellent replacement for Gabriel Jesus. Another player who's really, really skillful, technical, and as I said, would get the fans excited. But will Arsenal make a move for him? There's a lot of other teams around Europe looking at him at the moment. There's been talk that Arsenal have already been in talks with his agent Mendes about getting a deal done. Let's see how that one works out. I don't think it's as likely as the Mudryk one, but let's see how that one works out. And then, of course, there's Youri Tielemans. We need a midfielder, because one of those other areas that, you look at and you worry about is the midfield area. Thomas Partey's been brilliant. He's been injury-free, but what if anything happens to him? Youri Tielemans, we were linked with him all summer. If you'd have watched Transfer Daily last summer, you would have seen me talking about him literally every day. Some of you used to joke and call it Tielemans Daily. It looks like Tielemans Daily could be back. Now, will Arsenal make a move for him this January, or will they wait until the summer when they'll be able to get him for free? Of course, he still hasn't signed a new contract with Leicester. He's running his contract down. His contract's up at the end of the season, and then Arsenal can get him for no fee. Or should they make a move for him right now? Leicester at the moment, if you're going by what the rumours are saying, they're looking at a player called Azzedine Onana, who plays for Angers, would cost them around about £25 million. But that looks like he's a direct replacement for a Tielemans. I noted the other night as well that Tielemans didn't start in that game against Liverpool. He came on as a second half substitute. Could that signify that maybe Tielemans could leave this January? Will Arsenal make a move for him in January, or will they wait until the summer? That's going to be a really intriguing one to see, and we will watch that with bated breath throughout the January transfer window. Or could they make a move for Adrien Rabiot? He's been heavily linked with Arsenal as well. Of course, Rabiot of Juventus, he had a good World Cup. I mean, watched him in a load of games over there, and he played really well. Does really have a presence in that midfield, and has been playing well for Juventus as well. 27 he is now, so a really experienced player. Would cost around about the £22 million mark is the rumours. But again, this is another player that his contract is running down. His contract is up at the end of the season, and then he'll be available for free. Could Arsenal make a move for him? Now, the only thing about Rabiot, he's always had this talent, but this guy is another potential Guendouzi in that he comes sometimes with some issues. You know, there's always been issues around his family that seem to run a lot of his contract negotiations, etc., and always very vocal on things. Would Arteta want a player like that in this Arsenal fold, especially when you see the togetherness of this Arsenal team? I'm not too sure about it, but Adrien Rabiot being linked with Arsenal today, you know what? A lot of Juventus players, Juventus at the moment, they're in a bit of bother at the moment. You know what I mean? In big financial problems, and there are big rumours that they could let some of their star players go. Now, another one of them is a youngster who plays for them called Fabio Miretti. Miretti is 19. He's a midfield player of great potential. He's even played some games for them this season. 6 starts, 7 as a substitute, and a real hot prospect, valued at around about £13.5 million. Although, to get him away, the rumours are saying that Arsenal would be willing to offer around about the £30 million mark. Now, Juventus wouldn't want to sell this guy. He's a hot prospect, but as I said, they're in a bit of a bind at the moment, Juventus. It's well known to everybody across European football, the problems that they are having and are facing, bigger problems financially. Could they maybe let a prospect like this go? And is he the sort of player that Arsenal need right now? I tend to think that, they want an experienced player in there to try and help us, fight from now till the end of the season in the Premier League. Or could they turn their attentions to another Juventus player, and that's Dusan Vlahovic? Now, remember, Arsenal were all in for Vlahovic last season, in the January transfer window, were desperately trying to sign him, went in, put an offer in for him, but it failed, and he ended up going to Juventus for a massive fee. Now, as I said, lots of financial problems at Juventus. Also, he hasn't really, even though his goal-scoring record's been decent for Juventus, I don't think he sparked it up as much as they thought he would. You know what I mean? He's previously at Fiorentina and did really, really well. Now, being linked again to Arsenal. Corriere dello Sport over there in Italy saying that both Chelsea and Arsenal are interested in signing him. We know we need a striker. Eddie, is doing well, scored again yesterday, but we know we could do with a striker. We know Mikel Arteta admires him, but would they go back for Vlahovic? Would Juventus sell Vlahovic? And also, do you want Vlahovic when you considered that he said he didn't want to come? He wanted to go to Juventus, or does that not matter to you? I'd love to hear from you guys, but Dusan Vlahovic being linked with Arsenal today. There's a lot of players being linked, and it's going to be a very, very interesting transfer window. We're going to be keeping you up to date and abreast of it every single day here on Transfer Daily throughout the month of January. This, as I said, is a big transfer window for Arsenal. Get it right, and it could push us over the line to win the title. The thing is about it, a lot of clubs out there, they know what Arsenal need, and they're going to push the price up. And do Arsenal want to go too crazy in January when they'll have a plan for the summer? We've seen how they've been operating. I do think, though, we need to get a couple of... Mikel Arteta said it himself. We need to get a couple of deals done this January transfer window if we're going to have any chance of winning this league, which is what I want Arsenal to go for. So listen, keep it locked here every day here on Transfer Daily. We're going to be here every day. Make sure you subscribe so you can get the notifications of any videos as they land. And also, Listen, like this video if you love it. We're back here with Transfer Daily, wishing you all a happy new year, and I'll see you tomorrow. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.